We're going to get 4 mythical beast base character later on. I think, no, for that one, this goes into my theory on who Changli is. I think Changli is the phoenix of the south, and that's based in one of the kanji that's in her name. And I've gone through this on stream 2 or 3 times, in fact. Her name in Japanese is Chori. So the first kanji in Changli's name here is Chori, Changli. This kanji here, as it's by itself, if you use it in the adjective, it's read as nagai, meaning long. As in, this is a long road, or this is a long, a long time, like a nagai jikan. Although, however, this kanji it doesn't only mean long. It's used as a signifier, as a marker for people that are at the head, that are in positions of power. So, like, if you want to say, oh, the head of the town, which would be the mayor, you would say Cho. They have like 2 different kanji there. Like Cho meaning town, and another Cho, which is this Cho here, meaning head, the head of the town. The biggest, the most interesting part of Changli's name is actually her second kanji, Chori. So I've got Chori, and I've got the second one here. This is actually more to do with what we saw before. Because do you guys remember this? Do you guys remember this? We had this in the story. The box, the little box. But let's go to the usual reading of this word. The usual reading for this kanji is read as hanareru, meaning like the verb hanareru means like to leave, to go away from something. I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna go away from it. I'm gonna leave it there, to be apart. But however, that's not only history of that kanji here. As we saw here, this is actually one of the it says here one of the 3 trigrams of the I Ching. The Chang Li is one of the trigrams, one of these ones here. If you look at the bottom, this is the kanji here. It says here, Ri. This is the kanji for south as well. Okay? So we've got these different ones here all around, and this is her name. So if we see any other kanji here in the names for other characters, that's a good indication, and an indicator to what they're about. So we've got Changli here. So what does the Li part mean? Going back to here, it's one of the trigrams of the I Ching representing fire and the south. And we know that from the other section when we had the compass box in the story, that it was specifically referenced the vermilion bird, the phoenix of the south, and that kanji is in her name. That's why I think that Changli is the vermilion bird, or is at least very, very closely affiliated with the vermilion bird, the phoenix of the south. You should make this interview how I predicted Changli's kid. It's like, no, guys, I really did want to make that video. I swear, I did want to make that video, but it's like, I saw all this. I saw all of this well before we saw, 1 second, let me just bring it up. So like, before this was announced, like, oh, she's fire, she's got a sword. Well, I didn't know the sword part, I couldn't tell. But it's like, I predicted all of this from looking at this here, and then looking at this here, and then going from what was in the law. And right, and I predicted all that. I said she's gonna be the vermilion bird, like going from her design as well. With this section here, where you can see like this design of feathers, like kind of like peacock feathers or like phoenix feathers. The tail here, guys, I swear, I'm like 90% sure she's gonna be the phoenix. Like, we've also got these marks on her shoulder here too. The thing is that we can't really be sure because like with Jinshi, she also had the scales on her face, but she wasn't originally a dragon. So maybe she's like, maybe like how Jue chose Jinshi, or just she as she was now. Maybe she was chosen by the phoenix as well. This hand thing, this fire hand here, is huge. But when I saw this hand, I thought she was gonna be like either a rectifier. I didn't think a pistol user. I thought she was gonna be like a rectifier. But it's like we already have a fusion rectifier user with Encore, so I didn't know what weapon she was gonna use. It's a blade. Okay, it is what it is. I read through this, and I made my deductions way in advance of leaks. But they are mythological creatures in the world, and I'm thinking they might have some kind of, like let's do another comparison to Genshin. You all love that, don't you? You know in Liyue, where you've got a Cloud Retainer, and then she like takes in and basically makes her disciples into like half, where she like makes them like half deities with Ganyu and also Shenhe. She is going to be the Phoenix herself, or she's going to be a disciple, like Moon Carver and Cloud Retainer and all sort of thing. What rank would Phoenix be? I think a Phoenix would be below a Sentinel, would be below an Archon, but still very close. Say the Sentinels are the equivalent of Archons, then equivalent of gods. She would be like a demigod. I think the Phoenixes would be like demigods in that kind of sense. And she's either the Phoenix herself, or she's a disciple of the Phoenix. With her being a strategist as well, I think that gives credence that maybe she's been alive for a long time, and she's been alive for a long time. She's wise in her strategies, in her ways, and it's referenced that she is also the teacher of Jinshi. Like she's Jinshi's teacher, tutor, her mentor. They don't look all that different in terms of age, so that's why I think she's going to be older. I think she's going to be older than what she looks. I think she's going to be like on the same kind of level of a Sentinel. That's my theory. That's my theory of who Changli is.